love, what's up? Welcome to Confidently Uncomfortable. I'm your host, Jago, health and lifestyle coach, and not-so-regal confidence queen. Coming at you with the real, the raw, and of course, the uncomfortable. My mission is to show you that to be confident, it has absolutely nothing to do with being perfect or having it all together, and everything to do with you getting uncomfortable and pushing your limits. Thanks for joining me. Let's dive in. All right, so if you are someone who oftentimes will get started working towards something, whether it's your goals or getting higher up in your career or anything around those things, just bettering yourself. And a lot of times you get a lot of pushback from family or coworkers or even friends, like just people that are essentially haters, like people that are just putting you down because they want to pull you down to their level. And if you feel that pull or essentially that push that's holding you back from really getting to where you want to be, then you're going to want to listen to this episode because I'm going to talk about my biggest accomplishments that people told me would never happen, right? Like I had multiple people telling me that this was stupid or how irresponsible or just cannot believe you're taking this risk and just all of these different things that I did. So I'm going to really go into the Jago timeline, kind of where it all began with my life, with my career, with my relationships, just all of those changes and risks that I took and basically said screw it to everyone else that was telling me not to. Okay, so if you've dealt with that pushback or you've dealt with the self-doubt on your own or just other people doubting you and your dreams and where you want to be, listen up, okay? I want you to be here for this. So let's just kind of go through the top 10 things. I'm going to break them down and kind of give you a little background on them more than most people get to hear. So I appreciate you being here for this. So the first thing I was told was don't take time off. You won't get a job after you graduate. So like I went to school at UNC Chapel Hill. I went to school for exercise science and most of my peers went to further schooling, right? Like they went to become physical therapists or occupational therapists or whatever it was, they were going on to further schooling. And I knew that I at least didn't want to go straight to school. I knew I needed to take a break and I decided to go to Sydney, Australia. So I got an internship with Special Olympics in Sydney, Australia. And me making that decision, even though other people told me, like, why would you do that? You're not going to get a job when you graduate. Like, it's going to mess up your chances. Or if you do want to go to grad school, like, it's going to really throw off, like, your stamina to keep going with school or whatever BS people are telling you. Yeah, so I got all of that and I went anyways. And it was one of the most amazing trips of my life, like absolutely amazing. I got to travel all over Australia. I got to see New Zealand. I got to work in Special Olympics and see exactly how such a giant nonprofit made such a difference on so many people's lives. And it was one of the coolest things I've ever done, one of the best experiences ever. And it only made me better in the future when I was working towards what I wanted to do with my life. So that was a huge thing for me of pushback of people telling me like, don't take time off. So if you're in that position, screw it. You'll be fine. You can always go back to school. You can always get another crappy job. So if you're afraid to quit or leave it, just freaking do it because you won't regret it. I promise you won't. So that was something with me. Sydney, Australia was one of the most amazing experiences because I was completely on the other side of the world. I'd never traveled on my own. I was able to do that and then become friends with a lot of the people in my program and just continue to travel and even test my relationship, like long distance in Australia, insane. But it was just a great learning experience for me. And it made me super confident with traveling, with just in myself, going places alone. I literally used to be so afraid to do anything by myself. Like I'm such an extrovert. And now I freaking love being by myself and I embrace that. And that came out of the experiences that I had going to another country in Sydney, Australia. So it was pretty awesome. Another thing that I was told was don't quit a job that you work so hard to grow in. Okay. So this thing that someone told me not to do was after I came back from Sydney, Australia, I got a job at a gym, right? So I got a job as a trainer because I knew I wanted to help people. And that is where I thought that I was called to go. And I ended up growing the business from nothing. So you go in with no clients at all. And I absolutely grew it, filled up my schedule, and met some of the most amazing people, clients that I'm still so close with today. I've been to their weddings, they've been to mine. It's just amazing. And I quit the job anyways, even though I had worked so hard to grow that schedule and grow my clientele, because a lot of different reasons, but I knew that I wanted to have the freedom to drop everything and be able to drive across the country. I wanted to do that. And even though I could technically pick my own schedule and I had that ability in a gym, when you're still working for a corporation, they still have control over you. So even though I was really great at my job, I was getting punished for that. So I did it anyways, and I don't regret it one bit. My husband and I literally took his Ford Ranger and we drove it across the country, went to all the different national parks. We camped out in the back of the bed of the truck. Like, it had one of those creepy covers that are on top of the truck beds. And it was just such a cool experience to have with he was my boyfriend at the time, Tom, now husband. And being able to do that with him, like, we'll never have another chance like that, possibly. Like, at that time in our lives, it was just transformational. And to do that, knowing like, well, I won't have a job to come back to, it lit a fire in me because I realized, guess what? You can do it anyways. You will figure it out. The next thing was marrying my high school sweetheart. So I was told, don't have a boyfriend in college, like, it won't last anyway, like, don't do it, you'll miss out, blah, blah, blah. And to each his own. Like, some people, I agree, like, you absolutely shouldn't. But for me, like, it was amazing. I married someone who I met in freaking high school in pre-calc. Like, what? It's so crazy. We've been together for over a decade. He's absolutely my best friend, and it's just so crazy to think that, like, we met when we were like 15 or 16. So the fact that, like, yeah, people put that doubt in my head of like, oh, this, there's no way he could be the one. There's no way, which the one is a whole nother concept, but there's no way that he could be the person I'm supposed to spend the rest of my life with. Like, that's not supposed to happen. Like, it's all high school people. You always break up by Thanksgiving and college, and long distance is too hard. And just all of the things that filled my head because other people were telling me. I didn't listen to them because I knew that this was different. This was special. And I'm so happy I didn't, because now I'm married to my best friend, and it's one of the most amazing, amazing relationships of my entire life. It is the most amazing relationship. So that's been a huge, huge thing for me. And I'm so, so glad that I didn't listen to those people. Next aspect of my life. So I was told, don't try and start your own business. No one's going to follow you. So backtracking to when I quit that job at the gym, I knew that I still loved helping people. I loved working with people, helping them lose weight, helping them feel confident in the gym and with their workouts. But I knew that I couldn't do it to the same degree when I was doing it in a gym under a big box name. And so I decided to start my own in-person training business. That's where Jago Fit started. I came up with the idea while we were like driving across the country, sleeping in the truck bed. I like knew I can do this. And I was literally coaching my clients out of my friend's garage. Y'all, this was the middle of like July in North Carolina. And I don't know if you know, but it's hot. It's hot as Hades. It is so dang hot that I'm so thankful for my friend. Shout out to Jason. Thank you. He let me set up camp in his garage, literally was training my clients from like sun up to sundown. And they were such troopers. Like, they came out and they might have been used to this like cushy, like gym setting. And then they got to work with me in a gym and in a garage, not in a gym. And it was so, so cool just to realize like, wow, like I can make an impact on people, and like they're here, like they're truly with it. They get it. And they're not just coming to me just out of convenience, right? It was really cool to see that I could continue to do that and have some amazing people. Again, God, I love my clients so much, but those people in the beginning, you know who you are, that were in the garage with me, like sweating their balls off. Thank you. You're amazing. And thanks to my friend for really believing in me. It's kind of that whole, God, Steve Jobs thing, starting a garage. I was literally starting a garage and it wasn't even my own. It was my friend's. So that's where Jago Fit really started. And I was so thankful for that chapter of my life because I had the ability to replace the income that I was making in the gym with less clients and less hours so I could really pour into them. And that's when I realized like, wow, it's crazy how time is money, but it doesn't have to be all the time. So I started to transition, realizing that like I wanted to continue to grow. I wanted to continue to make an impact. And so I was leaning towards going towards online training because I knew then I could get deeper with their nutrition and their mindset and not just be with them for that small period of time in the gym. So immediately I'm being told, don't go online. You won't be able to make the same income. They're just like, don't do it. You'll have to sell all these tiny ebooks for like $20. Like, it's not going to be fun. Like, there's too many people out there. The market is flooded. And again, didn't listen. I quit again. This was a harder quit because it wasn't leaving a company. It was leaving my clients who I truly loved so much. But I knew that I wanted to go completely online and allow myself more freedom. And after that transition, like I surpassed what I was making in person in less than 6 months online. And that blew my mind because I'm like, wow, I'm making a deeper impact in these people's lives. And I'm not having to trade time for money the way that I was before. I'm not having to physically be there, but I'm actually there to a stronger degree because they were getting longer term results with my helping with macros and nutrition and lifestyle and digging deeper into their lives instead of just talking about squats and reps in the gym and having to like basically pick up after them, which I loved. I loved that period of my life, but realizing that like I could make an even stronger impact through an online coaching platform, it was such a liberating feeling. So again, if you're trying to do something and you're like, oh no, like it's already been done before, right? Like think about something that you feel like you want to start or you want to try and you're like, oh man, no, it's already been done before. Like I can't do it. Don't assume that means that you can't come into that platform and dominate, like create a whole new spin on that platform, create a whole new take on that product or whatever it is that you're wanting to dig deeper into. Just because someone tells you the market's flooded, think about who is that person telling you that. Now, if it is someone who is in the market, there's a couple, that could be that they're threatened by you. That's like a fear, which you should never go into something with this mindset of scarcity. Like, so thinking that like, oh, there's not enough clients or there's not enough people or followers or whatever it is. And flip it instead and think, wow, like there are so many people out there that we can all help. Like, let's just all support each other. And being on this platform online, it's been really cool to see that like the more I connect with other women who are coaches who are changing people's lives, the more we support each other, the more everyone is elevated. So remind yourself if you're in a position where you are doubting yourself or comparing yourself to other people who are doing something similar to you or in your job with a similar role, remind yourself that like, no, it does not have to be a competition. We can actually support each other and lift each other up. And it is so much better if you approach that with that mindset instead. So yes, I was told that the market was flooded and it wasn't worth getting into being an online health coach. And then what happened was I got into it and then I went beyond just fitness. You know, I started life coaching with people. I started business coaching. I started really focusing on mindset around our bodies and loving ourselves. And that has been so cool because if I had not stepped onto that platform, and even though people were telling me it was not a good way to go, gosh, I never would have made the connections with all these women that I have worked with. And I just don't know what my life would be like without that because I'm so grateful for each and every one of my clients. I'm so grateful for every single person that I've connected with online, in the DMs, that I've met in person. Like, it's just such an amazing, amazing platform. And if I had not just like put myself out there and said, well, I'm going to try this, like I didn't know what I was doing. I literally had no idea what I was doing. If you scroll back to my like first Instagram type things, ridiculous, like crazy. But I don't even want to get rid of it because I just think it's so cool to see that there's so much growth from just taking messy action. I think that's something to be learned from this is like so many people might tell you, well, it's been done before, but like you'll never know if it's if you doing it is going to be done differently than how it's been done before, right? And if you don't try, how are you ever going to know? So learning to just take messy action, that changed my life. All right, this next one I was told was right around the time that, right after Tom and I got married. So we wanted to travel. I knew that I wanted even more freedom with my schedule, and I was transitioning to completely online. And I was told, don't leave your job and travel long term. You need to have a plan. You won't make money while you're traveling. And I did it anyways. So I talked to Tom and we wanted to travel to Thailand. We wanted to celebrate our honeymoon. I wanted to do it long term. So guess what? I completely went online, like I said. Tom quit his job in the hospital and we went on a 6-week adventure in Thailand. We went with like, oh my gosh, you're type A people. I'm sorry. We went with like zero plan. Like I planned some of it while we were flying over. And some of it was like the first 3 nights in Bangkok. And then other than that, I had little to no clue. I had a friend that was helping me kind of have an idea of like the direction that I wanted to go, but I had no clue where we were going to stay. I didn't know what we were going to do, but I knew that I was with Tom and I was going to have an amazing, amazing time. And I went into this with clients and I talked to them and I said, hey, this is the first time we're already working together from distance coaching, right? We're already working together online, but this will be the first time I'll be in another country. So I was very open and honest with them and told them like, I'm new to this aspect and you're going to be new to this aspect. So we're going to try this together. And they were so open. And honestly, I said, prove me that you can do this on your own with the support from me, regardless of where I am in the world. And they absolutely crushed their goals while I was traveling. And that was one of the coolest things to see was like, wow, I'm no longer being a crutch to my clients. Like when I was working in the gym, I felt like such a crutch because a lot of times they would only come to the gym when they had a session with me. That was it. And that was really hard for me because I knew that once they stopped working with me, it wouldn't continue. And I wanted those lifestyle changes to be long term. So with my online clients, seeing that like they were consistently getting their workouts in, they were hitting their goals with their nutrition, they were seeing changes, they were feeling so good in their bodies. Like I absolutely lit up with that idea and realization that, wow, I can keep making an impact and also still pour into myself and show myself love and travel and see the world and spend time with my husband. I took a whole week off, which sounds like nothing to you, but like a whole week off of social media when we were on our like quote unquote honeymoon. Out of the 6 weeks, we took 1 week where it was just us. And it was amazing. Like it was so amazing to have that time. And the other thing that was so cool was like while I was traveling and having all of these experiences, I was able to replace my income with solely online clients at that point. So I hit the mark where I completely filled my clients. I had no spots left while I was traveling and seeing the world. And it was amazing. It blew my mind, the fact that I could do that. I can't even get over it. The trip was just so great. And the fact that I just leaned in, we didn't know what the outcome was. And the thing is even if you do plan things, you're still not going to know the outcome, right? Shit still can happen. Like crazy stuff can happen. So the more that I just let go of the outcome of so many things and just said, you know what, this is what I want to do. This is what we want to do. And we're just going to lean in and trust. And that changed our lives. Again, that was a huge thing for us, just not listening to that and continuing to do what we knew we truly wanted to do. That was a huge, huge turning point in my business. So this is all in like, I would say a 5-year span, but the next thing that was something where we had a little pushback was Tom had gotten into PA school. My husband had gotten into PA school, so that's physician's assistant. And at this point, I knew, all right, well, I'm going to have to continue with this online thing. Like, I need to grow it because guess what that means? If he's going back to school, we are on one freaking income. We are going to have to figure it out. And I was told, don't move to a new city without a job. You need to have a backup plan. So like typically when anyone said that to me, like a job, they meant like a quote unquote real job, like a 9 to 5. And the fact that I was being told that, I mean, it's hard because when you're going in and starting something on your own, you have your own doubts, right? Like you have your own, like, God, you're in a room by yourself in the dark and you're like, is this a good idea? Like, am I making the wrong decision? Like, you're already questioning it on your own. So you need support from the other people around you. And at this point, like, if I did not have Tom's support, I would not have been able to do this. Like, we moved to Hickory, North Carolina, this small town where I didn't know anyone. I'm still here. And if I didn't have his support to, hey, I know that I'm going to be the only one with an income. I know that I'm going to be the sole supporter of the family right now, but I think I need to give this online coaching thing all of my energy. I need to give my clients everything. I need to pour into the people that I'm connecting with online. And that involved like being all in and not having a backup plan. I do better when I don't have a plan B because I got to make it work, right? I got to make it work. And so Tom started PA school, and even though I was told by other people to be safe and get a real job, Tom and I talked and he supported my going all in on my own and having zero backup plan. He knew that I had that drive and that passion and I was going to do whatever it takes, because I knew what it meant for him to trust in me with this. And so I worked my ass off, y'all. I worked so hard to grow and to connect and to really make changes in my clients' lives because I knew that that was the way that my business was going to grow. Not some crazy weird strategy, not some kind of special secret or ads or anything like that. It was pouring into my program and the results of my clients for them to see the changes because that's what mattered and that's what spoke volume to everything else that I did. So with this plan of like, all right, I'm going to be all in, I knew that I wanted to invest in myself, right? I truly believe that investing in yourself is the best investment you can make. That is, I mean, y'all, I have had health coaches, I've had business coaches, I still have both of them. And it's so important because in order to better yourself, you have got to continue to invest in yourself. So even though I was told, don't invest in a coach, like that's a crazy amount of money, you'll be wasting your money, there's no way you're going to grow like that fast, and just all of these, there was a lot of doubt from people when I told them that I was making the investment. And guess what? I knew that it was going to change my life. I just knew it. The second I signed up, I knew that investment was going to change my life, and it did. It absolutely did. I surpassed my own expectations. I had like an 18K month, and I know money's not everything, but like that number did not even like hit my brain. It didn't even seem like fathomable to me that I could make that much money doing what I love. Like serving so many amazing women. I feel like I was hitting my stride because I was doing what I was meant to do. And that investment, putting my own passion on the front, like not on the back burner, like I knew that investing in myself was going to absolutely change my life, and it did. And that is why I preach the importance of having a coach, because it will rock your world. So if you don't have a coach now, you need one. Absolutely, you need one. And I'm just so thankful that I didn't listen to the people that said it was a waste of money, because guess what? The people that are telling me that, they didn't have the experience of working in my field. They didn't have the experience of working with a business coach or a health coach. So the people that are telling you that you can't do something or you shouldn't do something, like look at them real quick, and not in a judgmental way, just look at them in a loving way and be like, all right, I see that they're coming from a place of protecting me, right? Like they feel like they want to protect me. Most of the time, it's out of good reason. Some people are trying to pull you down. I'm trying to think from a good place. So let's just start there. Most of the time, they're trying to protect you. They're trying to protect me, right? So remember that, and then remind yourself, even though they want to protect me, are they physically, like themselves, are they where I want to be? So are they in a position doing what I want to do? Are they in a position where they can speak from their own wisdom. So no, they're speaking out of fear most times. So if you're hearing things from naysayers and they are not where you want to be, then you need to take what they say with a grain of salt and then pick up the piece of salt and throw it away, because it doesn't matter. Okay, it's what you know is meant for your life. So again, didn't listen and I kept doing it, and I'm so glad that I did. Another big one. Oh, this was a big one. So I was told, like, this podcast, y'all, has been a dream of mine for so long. Like, so long. The name of the podcast came to me in a dream, but the dream itself of the podcast, it's been a long time coming. But I had my own fear, but I was also told by a lot of people, don't start a podcast. There are so many out there. Who is going to listen? Well, you guys are. So thank you. You're awesome. Thank you for listening. Every single person that has been sharing how this message has been impacting you has been absolutely I've been floored with just emotion of like, wow, this has been my dream for so long. And the fact that people are resonating with what I have to say is amazing. And the people that share, like screenshot and share the podcast episode, every single person that I reach out to, like, I'm just so thankful and grateful. And I'm just sitting here humbled with the fact that I had this dream that I knew that I wanted to do for so long. And even though people told me it was stupid or not a good idea or no one would listen, you're listening right now. And that means the world to me. So thank you. And I'm so glad that I did it anyways, because that's a part of being confidently uncomfortable. Like, I knew, like, this is going to be hard. Like, I might doubt myself. There's going to be like people that are like from high school or something. They're thinking, why are you doing this? You're so like lame, weird, whatever kind of negative term I want to say. And guess what? None of that stuff matters. So the more I just stayed focused and quieted the noise outside of it, the deeper I got with my own needs, right? The closer I got to realizing like, oh, this is where I want to be. I don't have to listen to anyone else. I'm going to keep going. And I just continue to lean into that discomfort over and over and over again. And it is expanding the possibilities for my life that I didn't realize could happen. And it's so amazing. So if you have that desire to start a podcast or to share your story, like, don't think, oh, like no one will listen, like I'm boring, or I don't have anything good to say, or like my life isn't that exciting. Like, y'all, I post pictures of my dog on my Instagram story. Like it's not about being like the most adventurous one or the most cool life one. Like, it's about being real and raw and vulnerable with people, because we need more of that. There's so much fake and filtered fluffy crap out there that like, for someone to stand up and share their story and be real, wow, it is such a breath of fresh air. So if something in your heart is something that you feel like you need to share, just share it. Just share it. It doesn't have to start on this like crazy long platform, and you don't have to start with this picture perfect blog or website or Instagram curated profile or whatever it is. Just share your story with someone. You can start with people you know, and then you can start to kind of branch out from there. You can start and write it in your own journal and then decide later to share, but get the words out for the story that you know you want to share. Don't hold that back just because you're afraid of not being enough, because like I've said before, you absolutely are enough, 1,000%, just as you are. You don't have to perfectly curate or filter anything about you. Just come as you are and be you, and people will resonate with that. That's all I got to say about that. Finally, the last one. This one was a big one for me. It was actually pretty recent. This was my own. So this is in my head. It said, don't post fitness videos. You're not small and tiny like those Fitspo girls. So for a very long time, I struggled with posting videos of myself because, you know, when you're posting a picture, you can get the perfect angle, right? You can perfectly, like, you know, your good side, but when you're in video, man, you're not hiding that. And it's so easy to compare what you're doing to other people, like what else is out there. And so feeling like I couldn't share that piece of me with you all because it was like, oh no, there's already so much out there. Like, why do I need to share it? But then I realized like, I'm not going to just not share a piece of my life just because I feel like it's already out there. Like too many people already have seen this or like whatever. Like I knew that like I'm passionate about the style of fitness that I do. I'm so passionate about functional training and making things fun instead of having to just stick to this cookie cutter lifestyle of like what fitness looks like, right? Like I'm all about breaking out of the box, like freaking go work out outside, work out at the beach, work out at the park with your kids. Like it doesn't have to look like this perfect thing because I think that the more we try and make everything perfect in our lives, the more we're paralyzed by it, right? Like for so long, if you're like, oh, let's think about like something that you were afraid to do. So starting a fitness program. So you're looking for the perfect program or like the perfect time in your life to get started. There's never going to be a perfect time. You're going to hold yourself back from that. And for so long, that's what I would do. And now I'm like, screw it. I'm going to launch my freaking program. I'm going to launch Training Naked. Again, Training Naked, this idea, you can ask my girl, Alex. So she's been with me from the beginning. The girl who helped created my website. We go way back. I'll tell you about her. I'll probably have her on the podcast soon. But I had the idea for a long time ago because I knew that I wanted to just break out of the box when it comes to workouts and really show people that you don't have to work out in the gym for 90 minutes. You don't have to look a certain way when you're posting sweaty selfies and you're working out, and you can have fun with your fitness and you can do it from anywhere, anytime, and not have the excuse of like, oh, I don't have the equipment or I don't have whatever. Like that was so important to me and I was holding myself back, but I would not have created the program if I had let those lies and fear and self-doubt keep me from it, right? So even when it's other people saying it, sometimes it's our biggest obstacle is our own self-doubt, right? It's the things that we're afraid of doing. It's the fear of showing up and then not being accepted. But when you release attachment to that and you just know that like this is a message I need to share, and you do it letting go of that expectation of what will people think, it releases you and it frees you to fully be you and not care about other people. Quit giving an F about anyone else. Like, fuck it. Like, who cares? Like, do you, okay? And that's what I've learned through all of the pushback. Every single one of these obstacles, like, I realized I needed someone to almost tell me that I couldn't do it to fuel me, right? It's crazy. I'm not sure how God works with that, if it's just throwing naysayers in your way to push you forward, but that is how it works for me, y'all. Like, don't take time off after your job. You won't get a job after you graduate. Psh, I'm going to do it anyways. Like, don't have a boyfriend in college. It won't last. Psh, I'm doing it anyways. And I'm going to marry him too. Like, don't quit a job that you're going to work so hard in. Nope. I'm going to quit because I know that I'm meant to do something bigger. And not trying to do something because it's already been done before. Screw that. I'm doing it anyways. Like, not investing in yourself because you think that, what if I fail? I'm going to invest in myself because what if I fly? Like, there are so many things that are telling you no and that you shouldn't do it, but don't listen to it because that's just the easy way out, right? That's just like a security blanket. But here's the thing, and this is what I'm going to end with. Screw security, okay? Nothing in life is certain. Nothing in life is certain. Even what you think is certain isn't. God teaches me this again and again, y'all. I don't know what you believe in, but God, the higher power, the universe, like, nothing is certain in this world. And the quicker I realized that and saw that every single day, the sooner I was able to let that go and let go of the security blanket, right? And just go all in with everything that I do in life. And the more that I got taught this with these lessons again and again about the security blanket just being ripped out from under me, the more I was able to trust the universe instead of my own knowledge, the more that I grew deeper in the connection with that God, with myself, with everything in this world. Like, I was able to connect deeper because I quit playing it safe. And I'm going to challenge you to do the same. It might look different for everyone. It might not mean you're quitting your job tomorrow, but it might mean that you're saying yes to something that you've been saying no to for so long because you've been scared. It might mean that you're saying no to something that you've been saying yes to for way too long because you're afraid of upsetting someone. So screw the security, because guess what? You have no idea how other people are going to react, but if you don't start living for yourself, you are always going to wonder what if. And quit taking the easy street. Nothing worth doing is easy. Honestly, I've realized I don't want my life to be an easy way out or the comfortable decision. I know I'm here for a purpose and I am never going to stop working towards it. And the thing that's hard reality is if I'm going to continue to push myself towards my purpose, guess what that means? I'm going to have to keep pushing myself in my comfort zone. I'm going to have to keep getting uncomfortable to keep growing. And knowing that in that growth, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of hardship, there's a lot of just frustration. It's not easy to grow. It's not. And when I realized that and let that just sink in, I didn't let it get me down. I let it just release me from that expectation of everything being easy. Because as soon as I let that go, I was like, oh, you know what? There's going to be hard times and I'm just going to freaking deal with it. And you can too. No matter what you're going through, you are stronger than you think. So instead of settling and stopping and giving up, keep going. Because right on the other side of that struggle is strength. You are getting stronger with every single pushback that you're having. Every single time someone told me that I couldn't do something, I did it anyways. And that made me stronger every single time. And it'll make you stronger too. So I hope that you know that if someone's telling you you can't do something, I'm right here telling you you can. So I want to tell you that now, because for so long people told me I couldn't do it. And I'm telling you right now, you got this, girl. You absolutely got this. So thank you for listening to this one. I really appreciate you being here. Let me know your thoughts. I absolutely want to know, what are you going to do that's going to challenge yourself and get you confidently uncomfortable this week? So share this podcast, screenshot it, and DM me what you're going to do, because I'm really looking forward to hearing you getting confidently uncomfortable in your life and living the best version of yourself. Thanks again for listening to Confidently Uncomfortable. I love being able to connect with you here and honestly don't want it to end. So head over to my Facebook group, Body Confident Blueprint, and be sure to follow me on Insta at JGoFitLife. Also, if you're ready to get real confidently uncomfortable, go leave this podcast a 5-star review and email me the review screenshot, support@jgofit360.com, for a chance to win a free 30-minute fitness audit and goal setting session. I appreciate your support. See you next time.